Heather McDonald has got the juicy scoop. When you're on the road, when you're on the go, Juicy Scoop is the show to know. She talks Hollywood tales, her real life Mr. Segment serial data and serial sister. You'll be addicted and addicted fast to the #1 tabloid real life podcast. Listen in, listen up. Whoop whoop. Heather McDonald, Juicy Scoop.
Hello and welcome to Juicy Scoop. Oh my gosh, what a crazy last couple days I've had. I have a great show for you today. I've got Justin Martindale coming in a little bit, but I wanted to cover more of what I have discovered about the Balenciaga fallout. Thank you for all the great response that I got from Tuesday's show with Lala Kent. If you've not seen that, we talk about it. A lot of people are coming back and still saying, why is mainstream media not talking about this? My sister just watched all of E! News last night. Not a mention of it. As you know, I'm a big TikTok person, and TikTok knows what I'm into. So they're sending me a lot of creators that are going deep dive on this, and they are discovering so much. And I want to share with you it because I believe it should be discussed, and you can make up your own conclusions of what you think it is. I think it's extremely interesting, and I think it's extremely interesting how everything has gone down. So let me catch you up. So Kim and Kanye announced yesterday on TMZ that their divorce is finally settled and that they will have joint custody, but she will have the kids the majority of the time. And if they can't decide on something, or if one person doesn't make it to mediation, she will have the right to make that decision by herself. She is also entitled to $200,000 a month of child support from Kanye, which will be wired into her account, and they share expenses of private school. So hopefully they're off to a better start. Because when I look back on their relationship and how it relates to fashion, I think what really is going on here is that I believe Kim, who is getting a lot of backlash for the way she is responding to her relationship with Balenciaga. She made a statement and she said, I'm going to reevaluate my relationship with them. They said they don't know how this happened. It'll never happen again. But what we've discovered is that this really has kind of been a big part of Balenciaga for quite a while now, a few years now. And not until this tweet, which makes me also wonder, this tweet that originally brought up the fact that that this ad with these kids with the bondage teddy bears, and then, of course, the ad with the purse on top of the Supreme Court case with the argument of why they don't want to call it child corn anymore. I guess we have to say that, otherwise you won't be able to see this video. But being that anything with children that might be considered dangerous to them should be also considered art if it's a photo. So the fact that that was put out there for a reason, and I believe it was a reason, and everybody that I've talked to said that it comes from the very top of the designers to say what they want an ad to look like. It's not the set designer's fault. It's not the production person. It's not the agency that hired the photographer's fault. But that is who Balenciaga is suing, which I believe is ways to get the heat off of them. They were doing this for so long, and no one with any kind of voice put 2 and 2 and 4 and 8 together to realize that this is a company that wants to show satanic worship and child endangerment in their ads. Even if it's secretly displayed in a corner in like a black hoodie, which some of you guys didn't understand what that was, but that's like the black hoodie of the art and everything that happens in satanic worship. Or if it's just hidden in different images. Many people bought it. Many people liked it. Many people thought they were part of high art. And I believe one of those people was Kim Kardashian. So this came up yesterday. This is a TikToker. Now, these TikTokers, they only have 540 likes, okay? Because this isn't mainstream, okay? And TikTok knows that I'm interested, so they're sending me these great young TikTokers. Life is Good 202224 is this girl. And a lot of people are comparing the fact that the art from the book of the author that was featured in the ad with the purse on the Supreme Court papers arguing that these type of things should be considered freedom of speech and therefore should be allowed, children in danger visually, okay, is the fact that it's the covered face, the completely black covered face. As you recall, Kim wore that to the Met Gala. It was Balenciaga. She wore it out. There's a photo of her carrying one of her children in it with 3 other children in black behind her. North has worn a complete mask. Her face is covered, but we know it's North. And they all went to the fashion show with their mom and dad. They were all part of it. They all have business relations with it. Allegedly, Balenciaga owns 20% of Skims. So I understand she has a lot involvement with Skims, but I also think the freedom of being super wealthy to the point that you own a plane, which, by the way, once you own a plane, that's a huge tax write-off. That's why people own planes, even though someone would go, doesn't it make more sense just to charter the plane every time? No, it doesn't. That's why people own planes. Anyway, you would think someone with that kind of wealth could go, get me out of this contract. I don't care. There's got to be a moral clause in there. And I think morally, Balenciaga doesn't line up with my morals. Get me out. She's trying to figure it out. She has a team of people, team of lawyers, team of PR person. In the meantime, let me show a 10 slide of my house and my interior, and you guys can see how I haven't hung anything up in 10 years. It's weird. I thought it was weird. People loved it. I saw her trees outside of her bathroom. I thought that was pretty. There's some cool things. She's trying to distract us. Also, the TikTokers realized, I saw a video that she lost a lot of followers. She's still at 350 million or whatever. And they showed a video of all the people that have just started to follow her, and they appear to be robots or bot people with no history or bios. Interesting, okay? All of this is what I see on TikTok. It's all alleged. It's all a rumor. It's all my opinion as Heather McDonald with one other person working with me, Annie, okay? So if something I'm saying is not 100% right, I'm not saying it's 100% right. I'm saying what I did last night, and it was going on TikTok and reading a bunch of shit. So I think what Kim needs to say is when you see a photo of her with the head, we talked about it on the show. I was like, I think it's fucking weird. I think it's ugly, but hey, I guess you don't have to do your makeup. I guess it gets people talking. What I think she should do is to say, do a video to the camera, put it out there and go, listen, I never studied this stuff in school. I was into fashion. I worked at a fashion store when I was 18 years old. I used to wear, tight dresses. I got with Kanye. He introduced me to Anna Wintour and all these other people. And I got into this higher echelon of where we're hanging out with Karl Lagerfeld and all these people in Europe. I'm having my wedding here. I'm in this world of high European, high fashion. And that's what I thought this was. And when they brought me this stuff, I thought, okay, it's chic, it's different, it's making a splash. Not everybody has done it. I did not realize there was a correlation between this look and satanic worship in which children were in the art or whatever we want to call it. They want to call it art, but in which children were a part of satanic worship. Okay. And therefore I don't agree with it. Now that it's all been put together, I'm not going to be a part of it. But a lot of people didn't. Maybe there was a TikTok with 50 views where when she was wearing this, they were like, what the fuck, you're into satanic worship. I did not. E-News didn't. Nobody else did. Me just talking about this, I've been accused, like, what has gone on with Heather? Why is it? This is just, there's an article, which I have not read yet, but I just saw the headline, how high fashion and QAnon come together. They're trying to say that anybody that is upset about this is part of QAnon, which we know there is no Q. We know that was a dark part of an underworld of society in which a lot of people got sucked in. One part of that was people trying to expose pedophilia around the world and pedophilia rings as well as satanic worship. So this is now why people are like, wait a minute. And they're looking at everything, and they're looking at ads, and they're looking at things, and they're looking at images that are coming all over and realizing that this is like a darkness that we don't want to be a part of. And we want to bring to light that this isn't cool because children who do not have a say and that are innocent are being dragged into it. And other people are saying, but Heather, you showed, just like Daily Mail, you showed the ad of the two little kids who are Balenciaga employees' children holding the S&M bears. That ad, I don't believe those children were hurt in the creation of that photo shoot. I don't. And again, I don't even know that their parents were totally aware of it. You know, it's like, oh, you know, other people, I thought it was a bear that looked like, you know, I'm like, oh, I could make one of those bears from Target. I could run my car over it. I could put some like lingerie on it and like make fun of it. The first time I saw it, I was like, what's going on? Now we all see the symbolism and how deep it goes. So that's what I think she should say to save herself. Okay, now there's this other designer that's a big part of this. Her name's Loda Volkova, okay? And she had her own Instagram. All this has been taken down. All this has been made private. And she has a photo of a girl in red latex. Remember, Balenciaga was all into that latex. Remember when Kim Kardashian was in a brown latex and she looked like she was the camel from the cigarette ad? Okay. That is cheap shit. It's hideous. It's gross, along with spandex, where the shoe matches. That's all cheap, ugly shit. And I was like, what is with orthopedic shoes? What's with a sweatshirt that you pay $1,100 for? I was constantly like, this Kanye shit's ugly. The emperor has no shoes. When are people going to wake up? No shoes. The emperor has no clothes. When are people going to realize this shit is fucking ugly? So be grateful that going into 2023, maybe you won't be, now that you're so disgusted, maybe you will also look and go, I don't want an ugly thing. That goes for ugly prairie dresses. I don't want ugly clothes that are unflattering to me, that are overpriced. I don't. So let's invest in some better quality and some better designers. These people are into sick shit, okay? Nicole Kidman, silent. She's a big part of the ad. She was part of that whole office look, was supposed to be her. She has said nothing. Celine Dion, do you remember when she did a collab with them about babies? And the commercial was very creepy. And people thought it was creepy, but did it make a big splash? Did NBC talk about it? No. But it was creepy. I just saw the ad last night. She's like, they are not our children. They're all of our children. Well, now that's a creepy fucking thing to say. Why is someone's child's not my child to do with what I want with it? That ad is creepy. The clothes are creepy. Here's a baby onesie with a little hoodie with devil ears, okay, to put on your baby. These are expensive baby clothes. The new order says one, a big A on another, an Illuminati eye. These are all some of the items that like no one even looked at. Little kids with like weird zebra heads on that look like they're part of like Eyes Wide Shut. This weird cross thing. Which is like a strange looking cross. All of this, you guys, is on my YouTube. Please subscribe because I know I'm showing a lot of photos. So if you want to go back. So there's these two guys and this girl that where they're all creative directors for Balenciaga. And their images are crazy, like very scary images. I'm showing them here. This is another image from Loda where a child looks terrified with like a scary mask, scary person. It's like a baby terrified face. Another one is a statue of a little child holding up a skull with symbols around it, one of them being 69 and a bunch of other weird shit. This is all from Loda's. Another one is a little child with what looks to be the devil, pulling its ears and licking its face, and it's trapped. The child is trapped and distressed. Again, this is from Albin _ Adam. His Instagram is now private. He was one of the designers of Balenciaga. This is stuff that he put out on his Instagram that people didn't, maybe you did and you just didn't have a good enough reach, but now we all know. So they were putting this information out and they were trying to get their messages across. I also heard that with satanic worship, they don't believe in karma. Here's the deal. Like this is distressing, and I believe these people were putting out these symbols all along because what I have studied, and I don't know if this is true, but when you are part of satanic worship, and you don't really believe in karma and the fact that if you put it out there and you don't keep it a secret, and you wink to all the other people that are part of it, that therefore it's like we didn't make it a secret. The other thought of why did Balenciaga do this? Why would they tell on themselves? Are they trying to get this message out so that we are desensitized to it, so that children are indoctrinated into it, that we start to think this stuff is more normal? So if we are approached by true evil, we will accept it. I don't know. Or was it that someone at the top knew that this was going on and wanted this to explode, and they were the ones that put this all out there, hoping that this would happen? I disagree, because they've been doing it for a while, and it just took this one person to put it out there on Twitter, which I said, like, I don't know if this would have been put out 3 months ago on Twitter, would we have known about it? I don't know. But that is what started everybody talking. It's another horrible image of a girl about 9 in clothes, but bondaged around her body. I also want to say it reminds me of all the Astroworld symbolism. When Astroworld happened, there was a lot of symbolism in that concert that people felt aligned with satanic worship. And then, of course, a horrible tragedy there. Very strange. So it's really all coming together. And whether this is a conscious effort of people that are really involved in this, or if they join companies and businesses and are influenced by these people thinking that this is high art or whatever, it's a discussion that we're allowed to have here at Juicy Scoop. Maybe not on every news station, but on mine, I'm talking about it. And I appreciate the comments, and I appreciate people that, like I saw Julia Fox, who's very popular on TikTok, and I think she's bright, and she's like, what about the church? What about all the pedophiles and all that in church? Yeah, there's a ton of pedophiles in church, like I said, at trailer parks, in middle America, in a nice home in Florida. It's everywhere. But I think there's two different things that are happening here, because I think this is more about, my personal opinion, more about the satanic worship. And I think that is one thing because there's corruption in religion and church, but in Judaism and Catholicism and Christianity and Islam, it's about being a good person and doing good onto others. And that is not what is the principles of satanic devil worship. And I think that's the difference. And that's why people are like, why is this coming out in ads? And why is this in clothing that is all over Nordstrom's and everywhere else? And Selma Hayek's billionaire husband owns Balenciaga, the company that owns Balenciaga, and how far it goes to all these different things. Now, are all these people getting in the same room and going, I'm really excited for the Tuesday before Thanksgiving, we're going to have this person send out a tweet and all the shit's going to... No, I don't think it was all planned. And I think this is all trying to cover it up. Balenciaga wrote another statement, again, shifting the blame on themselves. So they clearly do want to keep their company going. They clearly do want to keep having you buy their stuff. I'm happy to say I've never liked the look.